There's no one quite like Meghan McCain, at least reportedly. That's what the executives at ABC are experiencing when they're trying to replace her. Now, this is where things are at. It's a hilarious story that reveals just how messed up Republicans are in general when you can't find one that is just the right Goldilocks zone for insanity. Okay, so before taking off the holidays, the 4 longstanding View hosts, according to Politico, had a message for executive producer Brian Teta. We're tired of the rotating cast of Republican guest hosts. Since she left, and that was 6 months ago, I think. These are the people that they have tried. So you'll see S.E. Cupp, Alyssa Farah, who's an ex-White House comms director, Morgan Ortagus, who is an ex-State Department spokesperson, Condoleezza Rice, Carly Fiorina, who should have been the vice president right alongside Ted Cruz, and then Gretchen Carlson. They're also gonna try Bari Weiss and Lisa Ling coming up, but those don't fit the conservative angles that they're looking for. But here is what is being said behind the scenes, according to Politico. Sources close to the show said that the search has stalled as executives struggle to find conservative cast member who checks all the right boxes. They will not consider a Republican who is a denier of the 2020 election, embrace the January 6 riots, or is seen as flirting too heavily with fringe conspiracy theorists or the MAGA wing of the GOP. But at the same time, the host must have credibility with mainstream Republicans, many of whom still support Donald Trump. 2 last quick quotes. So the problem is that they bring people on under the mantle that this woman is a conservative when they're never Trump, so they don't represent the country, said one of the rotating guests, one of the people ostensibly that we just showed the picture of. And then finally, a former staffer told Politico, they're really looking for a unicorn. They want someone who's gonna fight, but not too hard, because they don't want it to be ugly and bickering. Sure they don't.
Well, so that last point though is exactly right. They're looking for something that's impossible and actually, more importantly, pointless. So you're looking for a Republican that doesn't represent any actual Republicans. Let's keep it real, let's be honest, right? 93% of Republicans voted for Trump after knowing the disaster of COVID and how he dealt with it, and how we thought we should inject bleach, how he thought we should ban Muslims, how he thought the people of Puerto Rico had the hurricane coming because they were lazy. I mean, we can go on and on, a million insane things that he did, and including racist, bigoted things. I mean, he drew a new path with a hurricane with a Sharpie because he thought it helped him politically, and put it up as if it was a real map. The guy's a freaking lunatic, and 93% of Republicans said, "Attaboy." And then these Democrats, they're total liars. They say, oh no, it's okay. We got the 7% of Republicans, that's why we won. That's actually completely misleading. I just saw a poll, a really interesting study that showed that during the Trump years, more Democrats flipped into being Republicans than Republicans flipped into being Democrats. So those mythical Republican suburb voters that Pelosi and Biden are constantly talking about, it's always been a fantasy. It's always been an excuse to do what their corporate donors want. There are no unicorns of Republicans who are perfectly reasonable and just greedy. They just want tax cuts, right? That's all they want, and they're God-fearing, good, moral people, and they are just aghast at what Trump has done. And of course, they don't think the election is stolen. That is not a thing. It doesn't exist. If it does, it only exists in elite circles where you're all obsessed with your tax cuts and nothing else at all. But real Republicans believe crazy stuff. So either you're gonna have someone who says that, or you're not gonna have a Republican, period.
Yeah, they had some people on there for a while who were like libertarian-ish, and obviously, what was the woman's name who went to Fox and Friends and teased out her hair a bunch? No, there was another one, and anyways, there was someone who was in the middle and then went to Fox and Friends and instantly went, Jedediah Bila, who instantly went crazy off the deep end. She was like the I'm a lawyer voice of reason on kind of like the left right, but the truth is they shoot the show in New York. All the applause lines go to the like liberal, like neoliberal talking points. And so another thing that's happening behind the scenes is they went out to someone who, Kat Timpf, reportedly, this is all rumor and delightful speculation, but Kat Timpf, who's on the Gutfeld show, and she said no because, and this is just an amazing little fact, they think that Whoopi and Joy are too mean and they bully the conservative on the panel. which is just so good because you want someone who is, they're trying to go out to like these real conservatives, but the conservatives are such snowflakes they can't handle Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar.
100%. No, guys, seriously, it's like the only people that actually run this country are the donors and the advertisers, okay? Everyone else that is vaunted powerful elites are actually incredibly weak. Democratic leadership is really the weakest people I've ever seen in my entire life. But Republicans are also incredible snowflakes. Whoopi criticized me, I'm melting. Who cares? Whoopi criticizes us all the time. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I remember when she's like, how dare they call themselves the Just Democrats? I came up with the name Just Democrats. I love that she attacked that. She's like, what, you guys stand for justice? Goddamn right we do, Whoopi. How hard was that? Right wingers, you're so goddamn tough, you can't stand up to Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar? Just disagree, so what? And stop crying. Meghan, all she ever did was like, she'll say outrageous things. The minute somebody says, hey, that doesn't quite make sense, she's like, I am a victim. God, the right wing is so weak. It's filled to the rim with betas. And it doesn't matter if they're women or men, they're all pathetically weak. Oh, Trump came along. Oh, take my banana, alpha monkey. Please take my banana. I'm begging you. You know, you guys look so tough. Guys, look, here's what the View should do. And I actually don't want to give him this advice. I thought about emailing Joy because we worked together at Current TV. Me, Brett, and Joy did, right? And then I thought, I don't want him taking a good progressive. But if they were smart, they would actually get a good, strong progressive who would also disagree with them all the time because they're neolibs, right? And they're like, yay, capitalism and the status quo is wonderful. No one in this country loves the status quo more than Whoopi Goldberg, okay? So if you get a progressive in there, you'll get fireworks. They won't melt like a snowflake. And by the way, they'll actually represent a larger percentage of Americans than a right winger would. And certainly a right winger that disagrees with Trump. That represents about 1.5% of the country, right? But they'll never go in that direction because to them, a progressive disagreeing, well, how dare they? They're not, they're supposed to be under our heel. They're not, no, they don't get a voice. We want a right winger who wants goddamn tax cuts. That's who's gonna get the voice.
Yeah, and they're correct on everything. That's the other thing, is like I've been here for a very long time. I am correct. No one can criticize my position, especially from the left. Like they can't handle that. And I just wanna say like, the magic of Meghan McCain was all the hypocrisy and like inconsistent position she took that she was completely oblivious to. Plus they accepted her having all those positions because she was royalty, because she was John McCain's kid. So they tried Abby Huntsman, Abby's like peace. And Jenna Hager-Bush is over at NBC. So you're gonna go with the other Bush twin? I don't think she's into that whole thing. They're running out of like royalty that's okay if they're baddie.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.